Hello everyone, I hope and pray that you're doing well. I once led a memorial service and the widow confided to me that she had actually never attended a memorial service before. She had been part of a church for 70 plus years, but not once had she darkened the doors of the church for the memorial services, even of a very close friend. Literally, she had run away from grief. And she had missed out on significant opportunities to support others who were in the midst of grief. And she'd failed to prepare herself for her own grief and loss. Now, I'm not here today to tell you that you should go out, grab a newspaper, scour the obituaries in search of funerals and memorial services to attend. No. But you know, there are some important reasons, even benefits, from marking life and death by attending a memorial service. And one of the benefits of attending memorial services is to build community, right? To support others, right? I'm always encouraged to see folks from our church family show up to support a family at a memorial service, right? And they might not even know the deceased person very well, but they honor them by their presence. And just showing up by their very presence means a lot more to the family than the family is often even able to articulate in the moment. Another reason for attending funerals or attending memorial services is to attend to our own grief. You know, griefs certainly accumulate over time, right? And memorial services, they can be hard, right? Because we are often reminded at them of our own griefs and losses, deep losses sometimes. Tears might come more easily, even if we didn't know the deceased person well. But so can laughter. Memorial services can invite God to attend to our own heartaches and longings if we let Him. And memorial services can also help us to process our own grief and our gratitude before the face of God. But maybe the most important reason, as far as I'm concerned, you know, is kind of captured in this idea from Frederick Buechner that in the particular story of one person is found the universal story of God's redemption for everyone. And so in some of his autobiographical writings, Buechner has this to say. He shares this. This is all part of the story about what it's been like for the last 10 years or so to be me. And before anybody else has the chance to ask it, I will ask it of myself. Who cares? What in the world could be less important than who I am and who my father and mother were, the mistakes I've made together with the occasional discoveries, the bad times and good times, the moments of grace? I talk about my life anyway, because if on the one hand hardly anything could be less important, on the other hand, hardly anything could be more important. My story is important not because it's mine, God knows, but because if I tell it anything like right, the chances are you will recognize that in many ways it is also yours. Maybe nothing is more important than that we keep track, you and I, of these stories of who we are and where we've come from and the people we've met along the way, because it is precisely through these stories in all their particularity, as I have long believed and often said, that God makes Himself known to each of us most powerfully and personally. If this is true, it means that to lose track of our stories is to be profoundly impoverished, not only humanly, but also spiritually. The peace of Christ be with you all.